my sidekick, Ron Kamen, who may be doing autographs, which he rarely does these days. Ron, why don't you tell them a little bit about Earthkind Energy?
Thank you very much, Michael. Yeah, happy to do autographs anytime, people. Although Michael Murphy is really the one. I'm not going to repeat some of the things I've done before, but I will say this. The Business Council of Westchester had an annual energy conference on March the 9th. One of the things to me that was really amazing is in the last few weeks, we've seen now the United Nations call out and state that to have a livable future, we've got to take action, and actually climate action is needed on all fronts, everything, everywhere, all at once, to coin the phrase of a very popular movie that came out. You can find this presentation about how to save money, making green by going clean, and how property owners are making money with solar, with heat pumps, with electric vehicles and charging stations. You can take a look at this tiny URL /BCW-Earthkind. You can also see the entire conference, including two oil guys, an oil and a natural gas propane guy, who have also recognized that this transition has to happen, is happening, and have positioned themselves to bring in these clean energy technologies. So take a look at the BCW recording in total. Take a look at Earthkind Energy's presentation for that. And if you want a free consultation about how to go clean and save green, just give a call or drop an email to us. We'd be happy to help you anytime. Thank you very much, Michael.
Sit back and enjoy the AIA accredited portion of our presentation, Micro Living and the Evolution of Multifunctional Space. Our presenter is your surfacing specifications representative from Richelieu Hardware, the market leader in specialty hardware products and services. He works with architects and interior designers to introduce Richelieu's innovative products to improve the designs of their clients. He says, I'm proud to work for a company that pushes the limits on innovation continuously. And you're certainly going to learn about that and more. Coming to you live from Tony Soprano's favorite state, maybe not Bridgewater, New Jersey, but New Jersey. Here's Tim Kenny.
Thank you so much for having me, Murphy Brothers. I really appreciate it. Ron, I appreciate you hosting the calls as usual, so thank you so much. So if you're not familiar with Richelieu, I want you to know that Richelieu is based in Montreal in Quebec, but is local, has warehouses in New Jersey and New York and Connecticut, and well beyond that across the United States and Canada. So today's CEU is for AIA credit, and it is created by Richelieu and approved by the AIA. Micro living and the evolution of space and multifunctional space is becoming increasingly important, and we're going to go through exactly why. All right, so there's the AIA provider number right there for the credits. Of course, Mr. Murphy will be glad to help you out in regards to getting your AIA numbers in and reported for you. So credits for this course are equal to 1 AIA credit for continuing education. So we're going to talk about the socio-demographic factors of why people are moving to smaller spaces in multiple generations. We're going to talk about the challenges of you designing in a smaller footprint than the palatial homes that the baby boomers love so much and the Gen Z people. So we're going to talk about the components that would go into a space that make it truly multifunctional and more usable for the clients, and it goes to their happiness at the space. And we're going to talk about the economics of the micro and multifunctional spaces, because ultimately the budget is driving these projects. So we'll talk about how you fit all these great products into your budget. So we're going to talk about the generations first. As you can see, this young lady is showing grandma all the wonderful things you can see on your phone now, which is just about everything. And you can see that they take pictures of themselves, and the other generations are taking their daughter for a bike ride, etc. But the generations are all different, but merging into small spaces. So if you look at Gen Z, these are the people that were born after 1997 or around 1997 and later. there are about 90 million of them now, and they're driving spend in a lot of the households now because of college, because of computers, because of phones, because of many factors, right? So what we're seeing is millennials are, a smaller number, but from 81 to 96, but different than the previous generation or the generation I just talked about. 37% of them actually own a home, and they represent a lot of the household spending in the marketplace in our economy. So millennials, when you look at them, the things that they're looking for their comfort and for their experience is they want to have an in-house business center. Like many of us now, thanks to COVID, we all learned to be on a Zoom call, to be in our home, get a nice area that's quiet and appropriate for your business conversations. And then they want to have pool decks for entertainment, not just a pool, but an area to entertain. They want, of course, smart technology and automation is key now. Green buildings and green spaces are really driving so much of design today. Bikes and bike racks. Obviously, the electric bikes have been a problem in New York City, but the old-fashioned pedal bike still goes strong for exercise and enjoyment in multifunctional spaces. And obviously, security is going to be the most important aspect for many of the residents, not only when they're in the building, in their homes, but also when they leave. And they want to be able to go for walks and have access to a fitness center that's on the premises or close. So free plug for Ken there. I didn't anticipate that. Okay, so we're going to talk about the Gen X now. A lot of us on the call might fit in this area. So a larger number of us own homes in this area of the population. Probably spend less money on our houses than we do on our children in this spending. And 20% of the population is represented in this area, about 65 million people. So when you look at baby boomers, this is a generation that a lot of us on the call will fit in also. They control their disposable income, about 70% of them. About 72% also still own their own home. So that'll change as time goes on, as they start looking to downsize into smaller homes, and about 72 million baby boomers in America. So boomers, same thing. They want walkability. You see more boomers out there with their headphones on, going for a run or a walk, walking trails, walking through town, a fitness center. They like to have organized social events on site, things like exercise classes. Hello? Oh, I thought someone was.
So sorry. There's a couple of people that hop on at different points in time, and they're not muted, and I have to snag them. And I'm so sorry I missed that. It took me a moment, Tim, but you're all good to go again.
That's quite all right. Thank you, Ron. I appreciate your help. Okay, and then there's the seniors. This is born 1928 to 45, representing a smaller part of the population these days, and a smaller spend in their homes, and not 79% own their own home, but many of them have downsized already to a smaller home. So when we look at all the generations, the younger people don't want the large home that their parents had. They want to be closer to the city. They want to be in where everything's going on, and they don't want to have long commutes. So we're seeing them going into small spaces for environmental reasons, for social reasons. There's many, many aspects of why the younger generations are not signing up to buy a 5,000 square foot home somewhere in the suburbs. So let's talk about how you can design homes for a smaller footprint for all these generations. So when you understand your customer and what they are, the way they're going to live, obviously, if you're an architect or an interior designer, you already know that that's key to any project that you work on, is understanding your customer. The light in the that enters the residence and contrast in the room in a small space are going to be critically important. It brightens up the space. You can see this kitchen here. Both of these buildings have a lot of white with black contrast and with brown contrast, dark browns, so that the space will look more open and airy. And it fosters multifunctionality by using technologies that make spaces look bigger. So when we look at the true cost of space, everyone on the call knows that New York City is the most expensive place you could live per square foot in the country. Maybe San Francisco is close. There's some other cities on here that you may be familiar with, but obviously, when you look at the square footage of a resident, a rental property or a residence in New York City, meaning Manhattan primarily, it's going to, when you look at the particular items in that property, you have things like a queen size bed. You have it facing vertically or horizontally. You have a dining room table or a kitchen table, and a clothing maximizer. That's I think that's lost in translation there from French to English, but they're talking about a closet per se, right? So when you look at the astronomical cost of what it means to put your bed vertically as opposed to horizontally, just that one simple step that anyone could do in their home creates more room in the rooms. And if you look at the square foot price, you go from $151,200 for that 84 square feet for the bed, going down to $77,400 by putting the bed horizontally. Now you can see these other fees. Let's even say we're in Miami, which, gosh, that would be great, even though spring's here, it's not quite warm enough for me. So, you're still spending $42,000 to have your bed vertically in the room, okay? So when people are interviewed and the focus studies for developers were done, we looked at what they are looking for in a space. If it's not going to be a large space, it's going to be a multi-residential property. They want to be able to have a private garage. They ask for things like quartz countertops, washers and dryers, obviously in Eden, like a kitchen that they can cook in, right? Higher ceilings obviously make any space look larger. Balconies have been around for 1,000 years or more. And it's an important part of living in a space, to be able to go outside on a nice day and sit and enjoy yourself. And things like energy efficient windows and appliances are also going to be important. So let's look at the components of a successful space. So there's a few different ways you can go about creating space in a room. So having a global design is critically important, because you have to look at the space in totality, because you're going to be combining several rooms together and they're all going to be interconnected. So you have to think about the overall picture before you start getting into the specific separations of the rooms, obviously. So things like sliding doors, the materials that you use, the storage capabilities of the small space, the community events on the roof or wherever it might be, having the facility close enough to transportation, which most people do. We've seen in New Jersey where I live, I'm sure you've seen it in Westchester and Rockland and the Hudson Valley. Every town that has a train station now has all new multi-residential properties that have coffee places, without advertising for anyone specific, gymnasiums, many eateries, etc. But the space has to make sense for them to rent that place and afford it based on what they make. So the economics of the space are important too. So when you look at global design, here's an overview of properties that are multifunctional. So when you're looking at a table, you see that what I would describe as almost a galley kitchen or an L kitchen with a refrigerator on the end, on the left. And then you have different rooms that are separated out here, and a bedroom in here. So in here on the right, you have one space with a bathroom and a tub and a closet here, and a bed and a table and a desk and a couch. Okay, so not much in this space, but you'll see how this space can come alive in a very small environment. So there's a design guru who's very, very green and tries to create spaces that are small in New York City, that looked at how can I create more space. Some of these ideas are very innovative. You see this hallway on the left. This can be done in any home, by the way, where the panels are here. And it's not only Harry Potter that you can put under your stairs if your nephew comes to stay with you. You can also put your things that are normally around, blocking the hallway, on the countertops, etc., and store it away. The washer and dryer are obviously stackable, but why not have drying racks that are high up but pulled down, using the height of the space to pull them down? And there's also organizers that hold the laundry itself and all the chemicals that are used to clean the clothes. So some new trends, obviously, the materials keep changing, but natural matte looks are all the rage right now as everyone tries to bring the outside inside. So making it warm and comfortable and cozy are really important. This barn door hardware has been around for a while now, but incorporating oaks, which is having a moment right now, in case you didn't get the memo, makes it very comfortable and natural feeling. The design of the room using sliding doors, using openings in the island in this particular case to create storage helps. And pricing in built-in furniture. So in other words, when you put in the cost of all these multifunctional devices that are going to make a small space livable for the clients and make them stay there longer, you have to be able to build it in, because they're not going to want the idea that we had, because I'm in the Gen X generation, is that we move our furniture from one house to the next. But that doesn't really work that well. If you've ever experienced that, it doesn't necessarily work. And eventually, probably within a year, you're going to be replacing that that furniture to fit the furniture that you're now in. Even if you don't move to a small space, I'm sure you've seen this happen. So unless you just stayed in the one home your whole life and then you don't know what I'm talking about. But I believe me, 90 something percent of people know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about this. So building the furniture in that people will keep when they move out, they don't take the furniture with them. The new resident takes over the furniture and it's built into the mortgage. So so the developers are going to play the key role in saying, okay, I understand the concept. I'm going to have tenants longer. I'm going to have happier people that are going to tell their friends that they need to rent here by making it multifunctional and aesthetically pleasing. So let's talk about sliding systems, because as you can see on the left here, you can close off an entire kitchen and then have fold down counter space or eating space, and then close it all up, as you see on the right here, and pull down a bed from the other side, and make this the one small space everything that they need, forgetting the bathroom. And here's why. When you look at a hinged door, the mindset of all humanity is the hinged door. So it was invented not before sliding doors, because when they went to Pompeii and they excavated the site, one of the things they found were sliding doors in the Pompeii villages. So even back then, they knew the concept of sliding doors. Of course, Captain Kirk showed us sliding doors in every episode. So this door here takes about 15 to 18 square feet of swing space to open the door. If you calculate that out at $500 a square foot, which was like Denver or Montreal, it's about $9,000 worth of space that you're swinging a door. Now, if you instead put a sliding door, and that could be a multitude of different type of sliding door systems. Of course, the pocket door everybody knows, or a straight sliding door, but it goes down to approximately 1.5 square feet and a cost of about $750 at $500 a square. So sliding door systems can open up a space or close it off. This louvered panel system that was made or purchased for this project, probably made based on the paint, custom color that goes with the cabinets and the furniture. But the sliding doors are from ceiling to floor and close off the room at night and open it up during the day. So it creates a larger space for when they have guests, or for when they're working, or when they're cooking and eating. So it gives you temporary privacy. Movable walls is an extension of sliding doors. Just think about it as if you've ever been to a shopping mall and you see the glass doors that will fold back and then park in a corner when the store's open, and then they open back up and they all pivot and then flatten, and then it locks at night by the store manager. Well, this is an extension used in a residential space, in a small space. So what they've done here is create a wider opening using moving walls so that you can easily move the doors. They're not heavy because there's 3 or 4 that are movable, and slide them back into the park zone, and you have a nice wide opening, and your walls have basically disappeared and created a beautiful open kitchen. So here you see a few different options in sliding doors. Here on this one here, they've taken the kitchen and blocked it off temporarily. And then that kitchen, those doors will open and pocket back to create an open kitchen. That it's a galley kitchen, but still it's a kitchen with a sink and a dishwasher and a garbage can and a stovetop, right? Everything that they need. Now on the right here, you see glass that's frosted that separates the office area temporarily, but look how wide that is. By using multiple panels in a sliding system, you can create much wider openings and more open floor plans that can be closed off temporarily. And down on the bottom, you see 1, 2, 3, 4 doors that are going to slide and pivot out of the way, creating an opening that shows the other half of the space, or whatever space is left. So here you see folding sliding systems here, where the kitchen is open after the doors have been slid to the side. And then once they reach the flat position, they'll be pushed backwards so that they're in the closed position, or in the open position in the wall. So this is a pocket between the two cabinets that the sliding folding hardware goes into. This opens up the kitchen countertop and everything that's including the Keurig and the glasses and the spices and everything that's behind it. But when it's closed, it's not a problem. Mirrored doors make the space look so much bigger, right? So here you have a very simple barn door mechanism that has a mirrored door on it that creates a more open look in the home. This is something we don't see a lot here. The Europeans and even the Canadians have started to move away from hinged cabinet doors. Not that they don't have them, but this is a very strong growing trend. And in micro living, it's critically important, because if you're in the kitchen and two of you are opening the doors, and if you've ever done this on a holiday when someone's trying to help you, you're going to see that they're going to bang into each other. In this particular instance, you see there are multiple different types of lifts that lift the doors up and out of the way. Even if there's not any space above it, this one has lots of space, but all they did was slide it straight up. In this case, it flipped up, and then this one went up and over. So there's 5 or 6 different options to do this, but this is a very strong growing trend in multifamily, multi-residential, and micro living. Sliding doors like these on furniture or cabinetry is different than the interior door sliding doors, but they're a micro version of the same thing, right? So here you have a door that you could not possibly hinge next to the toilet, but sliding doors allow people to get access to the toilet paper that's behind the doors without hinging a door. Over here, by putting decorative legs on a cabinet, you create a warm, airy, open feel for this piece of storage that holds dishes. So by lifting it up and by using sliding doors, it creates a interesting, functionally easy and beautiful look. So here's sliding doors with glass and wood frames that are great for displaying things that look nice. Obviously, there's some cabinets in the home that should be shut, but this one has the beautiful things they display. Also, why not use barn door hardware on cabinets, right? Here, this run of cabinets has cabinet barn door hardware with the doors covering sections like 2 and 2 separate, but covering things or opening them up for access. But an interesting look that can be put in any small situation or large situation. So the materials, we're seeing more and more, as I said, natural materials, but we're also seeing matte and gloss panels growing at 20 to 30% in the last 3 years. The look where you're taking gloss and wood grains and combining them together so the textures are different, the finishes are different, but it all works together. If it was monochromatic white like we saw before, it's kind of boring and stark and cool. Here you have a good combination of a dark wood grain with a light high gloss countertop and upper cabinet above the sink and the window shades so that it creates a beautiful look for the customer. So the decorative hardware is the jewelry of the cabinets. A lot of people make the mistake of putting the least expensive handle onto a cabinet or the least expensive knob. When, if you think about it, just by changing the finish of the handle to a current finish like matte black or satin gold or champagne bronze, you can make the overall kitchen cabinets look so much better. Another thing you can do to minimally increase your expense is make the handles much longer. Like you see, this refrigerator has long handles, yet this cabinet has 2 little handles that you can't even fit your hands in. So having one long handle here makes a lot more sense. So here's some great multifunctional tools that are growing in popularity now, especially in multifunctional space. A kitchen table that pulls out from an island, big enough to fit 3 or 4 chairs around. You see the one on top here has a leg that comes down for more support. So I don't know what you would put on it that would be that heavy, but if you do feel that you need that, you don't want to cantilever off the mechanism, you can get it with a leg system too. So here's another one. A lot of kitchen cabinets, the drawers become junk drawers. There's a cutlery drawer, there's a silverware drawer, and a bunch of charger cords and random things that end up in these drawers. So why not take a drawer and turn it into a expanded workspace in a small kitchen? So here you see they're taking advantage of it for eating. And this is a one-leg system if you look here and here. But it can also be used as an additional work space. When you start cooking and you have spices out and vegetables out and meat out or whatever you have, you need a place to work with all this stuff and put things down. So this is a great idea, pull-outs from the drawers. Also the tables. If you look at tables in a normal home, they're stationary. So this particular mechanism allows you to make a table out of whatever material you want and then fold down into a coffee table. Here you can see this is a metal table with a glass insert in the middle. And the one on the right here in the small picture is a butcher block tabletop. Also, there's mechanisms that will take a coffee table and hinge it up so that it's a workspace where you just make an upholstered chair that is a comfortable piece of furniture when you're entertaining, but it's also the workplace for someone. Also, if you need extra pillows and blankets for when your guests come, where better to store them than under the bed? So this mechanism simply lifts up with pistons very easily. Anyone can lift it. You take out what you need and you close it again. So this is another picture of the kitchen table with the legs collapsed down, and now it's a coffee table. So it's adaptable furniture. So open spaces, large windows, casters, as you can see on this piece of furniture. One of the most important things about casters is it allows you to move things in and out of the way to create your space that you want for the event you're having. So here, if you're into puzzling, the one problem in my home is it takes up the dining room table or the kitchen table every single time for a long period of time. So why not create a small slab with casters that slides under the couch so that the puzzling can happen over time without being in the way. Here you see a coffee table with casters on it that can slide underneath the couch because the legs are high enough on this couch. They planned that out in advance and slide it underneath when they need more space for working out or for entertaining. So mobile furniture and adaptable furniture are important parts of micro living. So a lot of times dorms are landlocked, like Manhattan universities, and having spaces that beds that can separate from each other, but then be collapsed together in one room turns a 2-room space into a 3-room space, a 3-person space. So if you're Columbia University and you're landlocked and you want to accept more 4.0 grade point students, how do you do that? The only way to do that is to figure out how to fit more beds in one room. And this is one option. This one's more applicable to everyone. So here you see a bed that's a portrait, a landscape bed so that it takes up less space. It's a desk. You move the chair out of the way and you put it against the wall, and now there's the bed. So the green doors here are storage, but the bed, everyone thinks the bed's going to come out of here. All it did was pivot 90 degrees down, and it's a sleeping space. These beds will take the same square footage that you have for the family room and create or an office and turn it into the bed. So this one on the right, this is showing a flat panel. There are versions of it that have 1, 2, or 3 shelves so that you can have a large shelf and a less deep shelf. And the deeper shelf on the bottom is your desk, and the other shelves above it are your shelving for your office. Now, you may think, because I'm not showing the video, that these things are going to move or fall, where they don't. They simply rotate. Here you see a couch in a family room that folds down when the bed is coming out. So here's an example of a 3-shelf unit, as you can see down here, and here it is coming down. And there it is closed with the items that are on it back up against the wall. Open shelves are another important part. You can use open shelves as a room divider that gives people access from both sides, lets light shine through to the kitchen area, and creates openness. These type of shelves also for storing things in bathrooms that are small typically, create an open look. So floating cabinets and floating shelves are really important to an open look in a small environment. Here you see a run of cabinets off the floor, no toe kick, and hung from the wall. Here you see a toe kick environment here and full length, but there's different ways to skin a cat, but no matter how you do it, it's going to be the floating cabinets and the floating shelves open the space. You see here, there's floating shelves in this kitchen here for storage. But a kitchen has to be able to prepare, clean, cook, store, trash, and eat in, right? So that's the goal. So designing a 9 square foot linear kitchen is not easy. So storage is going to be important. Here you see a 9 square foot kitchen. The only surface that's showing is the sink slash coffee machine or cutting board. But as you start opening up the drawers and doors, you can see all kinds of storage. There's a refrigerator behind and freezer behind this door here on the left. The half-size dishwasher, which, if you're in it by yourself or there's 2 of you, you're going to be able to run the dishwasher more frequently than waiting until it's full. The laundry is in here as well as the microwave. By using sliding doors, these happen to be hinge doors, you can open up the space even more. So some of the other things that you can do, pull-outs that hold your cutlery, like you see on the right here, having a lift-up mechanism that lifts from the countertop or an island up electronically to bring the pots and pans up from a space that you can't really access otherwise. So this uses the space above the cabinets and then brings the items that are in the cabinets up to the right level. Garbage, waste, compost, which is getting big, and also pull-outs and cutting boards are important, and mixer lifts, right, in the larger homes. So these little caddies here can go in any small unit. They're inexpensive and they carry all the cleaning materials. All you do is pick it up and walk away with it. And then you bring it back and slide it back into the cabinet. This unit is, people have stored jewelry and weapons in it. But in this case, it looks like a towel bar until it's pulled down, and then you can see there's spices and cutlery mounted to it. And then it's pushed back up into the back of the cabinet, where most people can't reach the back of the cabinets anyway, and it makes that storage accessible. Also, pull out and tilt out pantry units can be very important. So they say contain the chaos by having your pantry, your shelving pull out and go back in, and incorporating woods and metals to create a beautiful look. Folding counters, closets that look like a showroom. Obviously, this isn't a small home that has a closet this size, but not all of you work on multi-res all the time. So, but even if you do have closet space in the multi-res, these open shelving systems create a beautiful open look that can be incorporated in any environment: shoe storage, clothes storage, etc. Good lighting is really important. If you look at lighting, it's advanced to the point where lighting is everywhere. It's incorporated into the shelving. In this particular system, the shelves, when they go on, they connect to the light, and then there's a switch that turns it on and off. So obviously security. for pharmaceuticals in the home or in a business are important. Chargeability, access to media, and hot spots, and those, like charging spots, etc. Okay. Community wise, if you're going to have a multi-residential space, as Ken talked about, a public gym or a residential gym, I should say, within the residence, lounging, gathering, drinking, eating together, right? So this is a floor plan that was in British Columbia. So what they were looking to do is take the space of 575 square feet and try to put it in the university area of town so that they can have rentals. You know how the kids don't want to be on campus, so they can drink or whatever they do. So these properties they'd rent out, but they needed to be small enough that they could be affordable. So this is in Surrey, BC, which is a pretty large city in British Columbia. A kitchen and a living room all together. You see how narrow this table where they have a chess set. The TV's in the wall unit here. This pull-out table is where she's working. And all these, you see the pocket doors there to make the space bigger. Now you see, same couple, he's pulling the bed out from the wall at night. He moved the table and chairs around. And now there's plenty of space for that bed and to walk around it. So Graham Hill, who's the founder of Tree Hugger in Soho, he wanted to put 350 square foot homes that functions like one twice that size. So he said movability, folding, and expandable furnishings can turn this lounge of 350 square feet into a master bedroom or dining room for 10 dinner guests. Pretty crazy, right? Well, here it is. It's in a sleeping area. He folds it back, and now behind the bed here is a couch. He puts the cushions out, and now he has seating for many people. You notice the table was at coffee table height, and used while they were having guests, just talking and eating and watching whatever they were watching. But here they're hosting dinner, so you need places for people to sit and food at the proper height for people sitting around a table. So they move it up, and it fits the eating situation for 8 or 10 people. This one is in, everybody knows where Carmel Place is, I think. So in this particular situation, they wanted to be able to take a normal size home, but make it more functional, because the issue they have is they need the space to work out. They need the space for watching TV, and they need it to sleep all in one space. So there's the bed pulling out, and you can see the eating space as well. So here's a global design view of that space. You see there's two different surfaces to make it a contrast and make you feel like you're in a different environment in a small space. But here you can see the table and chairs, as opposed to the bed that's down here, as opposed to when it's a couch over here. So you have the couch, you have this whole open area, and then you have the toilet, the shower, and this large area over here. But now you have the kitchen table with 4 chairs. The bed is back. You have the couch there, and then everybody leaves, and there's the bed. The dining room table is gone and slid under the couch. So going through it, we talked about why so many generations of people, what happened in 2008 that really took the younger generations and put them in a tough spot. So, and not to mention the way they look at the world and what they value puts them there. The older generations that are downsizing, it puts them there, right? So, and even the people that are in the middle where they have older parents and younger children, eventually they're going to be looking for a, let's call it a place in the city, these type of things. So the more affluent middle of the generations is going to want a place at the beach here in New Jersey or in Long Island, or they're going to want a lake house, or they're going to want some other place. And they're going to need to be able to accommodate a lot of people and have a space that's multifunctional. So all these factors go into creating a successful multifunctional space. So I'd like to thank everyone for your time and attention. And I'd like to open it up to questions. I'm going to stop sharing so you can see me again. And do we have any questions, Ron?
Yeah, we got a whole pile of them, Tim. Thank you so much. It was a great presentation. So the first one that came in is there anything set into the floor to guide or anchor the sliding doors? And would the floors need to be hard surface or anything you'd step on?
Oh, okay. So there's multiple options with sliding doors. They can be floor mounted, and floor mounted sliding door systems will hold a lot of weight, but is unnecessary for most of the things that you saw in the slides. So top mount systems can be planned in, but you need to make sure that you have the headers to mount those systems and secure them. But top mount systems are the number one option in new construction. It's just when you're retrofitting, particularly in old places, that you're going to run into, well, we don't know what's in the ceiling. It's a plaster ceiling. Let's just go with floor mounted systems. So either way, you just need to make sure a structural engineer is involved. If you're putting heavy doors on a different, on a floor that has floors below it, but normally these systems are not that heavy unless you're putting, 2-inch thick walnut doors that are 4 feet wide and 10 feet tall, which is unusual, right?
Great. So innovative presentation. And the question came from that gentleman is, are you aware of any zoning regulations that would require some of these design ideas, or are there any restrictions on them as well?
Yeah. So the zoning laws are different in every town, right? So the architects are going to work with the contractors and make sure that they're in compliance. But these systems, the sliding systems, the systems that fold in, come out of cabinets and out of units, they're all low pressure in this. And normally, like for ADA compliance, for example, sliding doors and hinge doors have to have a 5-pound maximum load rating. And even the heaviest thing to lift in that whole presentation is the bed. And it really takes maybe 10 pounds of force in total, the bed. So if it has to be ADA compliant, lifting the bed, obviously, you need to make sure, there's technical documents that I can send on the beds and how much weight it takes to lift the bed. But that's the only limitation I would think.
Excellent. And how about the dead L corners in the kitchen? Got any suggestions for those? Somebody did, but let's hear you.
Yeah, so dead corners is also called a blind corner. So there's several mechanisms that work in that. The most common one, people call it a peanut. It's actually invented by a German company called Kesselbaumer. And they what it does is it maximizes the space and allows it to turn the corner and come all the way around at the perfect angle. So that's the best mechanism for blind corners. It's called a Le Mans. But that mechanism you saw that lifts up to take the blind corner out and give you access to everything, that also works for blind corners. It's more expensive because it's electronic, but it will pull the shelves from the bottom of the cabinet up to the top.
Excellent. So at Carmel Place in New York City, where do the dining chairs get stored when they're not in use?
Yeah, so that actually folds down flat and slides underneath couch.
Oh, cool. Do you work with designers to find the right hardware for the millwork furniture?
Yes, so interior designers work with architects and really make us, some of the parts of the presentation, we're really focused on their area where the materials they're using, the hardware they're using is going to make the place more livable, right? And likable. So, yeah, so I normally work with them and they go through our website and look at 6,000 different options and pick out the finishes and sizes and styles that they like.
And can you create custom hardware for a specific situation or design?
Custom hardware, yeah, so custom hardware can be made if you can't find anything in our value, and all the way up to our luxury items. Then custom orders normally require lead times and volumes. So a multi-residential space, if you use the same handle in all of the spaces, but you want it to be a certain one that you don't see and you can't find anywhere, then sure, then we'll make it. In fact, a lot of our handles are designed by Richelieu designers that created our handles to be unique. And that's exactly how they were made.
Excellent. Is there a sliding door system with electronic sensors for the interior doors? I mean, you mentioned Star Trek, so, you know.
Yes, actually, that's something new. Last year at Interzoom in Germany, the first time they had Interzoom in 3 or 4 years thanks to COVID, there was a vendor showing a door that you would walk up to and put your hand next to the wall, not on the wall, but near it, and the door would open just like in Star Trek. So we're starting to see this now, and we just brought it to the United States in December. And so not many architects know about this yet. And we're just starting to see our first projects. Our first project hit in Florida, and down in our Florida offices. And I'm hoping that we see some in the New York area soon.
Excellent. And what type of wood shop can make a multifunctional bed for some people's clients?
That's an excellent question because everyone knows mill workers and a lot of the contractors use the same mill workers. But the best people to do this are the closet companies. They have the 32 millimeter system, boring system, the CNC to make any bed. And in fact, a lot of times the closet shops are in the bedroom already. That's where the closets are, right? In a lot of cases. So they're already making these beds for our customers. So they can do it at a better price. They have the technology to make it in a quality way. So certainly, I think the closet customers of ours are the best ones for that.
Great. And then can the pull-out work surfaces be mounted into stock cabinet drawers?
Yes. So that's a good question. So those mechanisms are like a drawer slide, a heavy-duty drawer slide. So you can see a drawer that's this wide, 10 inches wide, and you'll see other ones that are 36 inches wide. So in the technical documents on these mechanisms, they'll tell you how wide you can put them. But that flexibility, you can have it in an 18-inch, 24-inch standard stock cabinet, or you can have it built into a custom cabinet where they make it exactly to the width that the customer wants. So either way, stock cabinets or regular or custom cabinets.
Great. So a couple quick laugh questions. How many college students actually make their beds?
Well, I know my son who's a college student, the last of my three, and the answer is never.
And then where do you
Yes,
put
but you
the,
can always push it up into the wall.
where do you put the 400 square foot home gym, by the way?
Yeah, so the gym, typically gyms are on the lower floor, the bottom floor because of the weight, right? So literally weights and the weight of the equipment. I'm sure, you know, who was it? Who was our presenter? I forgot his name already.
Kenny.
Kenny, that was it. How can I forget that name? That's my last name.
Come on, Tim. You know.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I'm sure he would tell you the best spot for that is in the basement. Like not the basement, but the ground floor. Yes.
You have to have a ground floor apartment if you're going to have one of those. All right. I think we're out of time. Michael, take it home.
Ken, thank you very much. That was a terrific presentation. Ken Boardman, yourself too, Matrix and Richelieu gave us a lot to think about. Ken, you want to put your information in the chat box there? People get in touch with you.
Absolutely.
Okay, got time for a 2-minute commercial about Richelieu?
Yes. Okay. So Richelieu stocks the hardware in Queens and in North Jersey and Connecticut locally. So these products that I'm showing you are not, you know, they take 12 weeks to get here. They're all in stock and are available 1 day to 3 days.
Yeah.
All right, great, good. Well, thank you very much. Hey, listen, great presentation. Thank you all for joining us today. Hope to see many of you at the Builders Award on Thursday, the 30th. Get your picture taken with Mr. Erskine himself, Mr. Ron Kamen. Call me about getting your hot ticket to this celebration of the construction industry on the Thursday, the 30th of March. Good Pesach and happy Easter, all of you. We'll see you sometime in April.
Very much, Michael, the infamous Michael Murphy of Murphy Brothers Contracting. And thank you to all the sponsors, Richelieu, Matrix for your great presentations, as well as Bright Energy, Luda Creative Group, Westchester Home, and I'm Ron Kamen from Earthkind Energy Consulting. Till next time, take care, be well, have a great day. Take care.
Did you notice, Ron, I got I'm in the self-storage there just because I figured if you've got this small space that you're working with, right, you at least need a 10 by 10 to put the rest of the stuff in there. The holiday, the decorations, the bike.
There you go. When you got the small
Pictures of the
space,
kids.
You got a storage now. So there
Got to store and storage. Yes, Murphy Brothers does self-storage as well. So,
thank you all.
all right.
Thanks, everyone. Take care. Be well. See you next month. Thanks a lot.